Hey my friends, this is Grace and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a review of that blending brush that I bought a while back from Amazon. Somebody was asking me to let you guys know how I like them, and so I figured I will test them out, and while I'm testing them out I will film myself. And so they are really soft. My daughter, she is 14 and she's into all these kinds of makeups, and she said she's so sad that I'm using these makeup blending brushes for my crafting. She said that it's meant for makeup, mom. She said that to me. So she's like, why are you using it for crafting? But I think that they are a good price point that I can get another pack for actual makeup. But yes, they are really, really soft. Like, I love running those bristles onto my palm because they're just so soft. But anyways, let's go back to crafting. The one thing that I wanted to try this with is with stencils, because that's something that I find it's just harder for me to use the blending brushes for the Ranger Distress ink blending brushes, because I feel like I have to really pound on them. And I'm going to show you this stencil. It's just a kind of a scripty font, and I just have a white cardstock on the back. And this is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to try my original Tim Holtz Distress blending brushes, and I'm going to just try that. And I feel like if I do this first right before I do the blending brush, I could give you a better review of what the difference is between the two brushes. So with this one, I'm pounding it so that the color will go in there. And as you can see, it's still not, like, it's just very faint coloring on there. And I did use some washi just to tape that paper on the back side of this stencil, just so that it doesn't move on me. And then now I'm using the blending brush. So right off the bat, I love how soft it is. And I was very surprised at how fast or how easy it picks up the color. I thought that I would have to dip it into the ink a little bit more, but it's just going great. And I'm just brushing it on there. I don't have to tap it or pound it, really put much pressure in there. And I really, really like how it transfers the ink onto the paper really well. As you can see, I have even put more ink over what I've already added with my Distress brush, and it's really good. Now I'm cleaning it off just a bit, and I'm just gonna see how good it is to clean in between. Like, if I were to use multiple colors, I wanted to see how good it could basically brush off the ink so that I can use the same brush with a different color. And so here I'm just kind of taking off, and I really love how it looks. Now, the color that I used wasn't so dark or thick, so I knew that it was just gonna have that little faint kind of coloring on there. So this one, I have this butterfly stencil, and I wanted to kind of use different colors for it. I think this is the best way to show you how the brush work with different colors. Now I'm using the same medium. I'm just going to use some Distress ink mini cubes because that's what I have. But because that's the that's the medium that I intentionally wanted this brush for. So I don't know how it will look with the dye inks or with some pigment inks, but or other kinds of mediums, but I really like how this worked out with this particular ink pads. Now, I was initially thinking that I needed to cover up some of these butterflies so I can just color in one butterfly at a time. I'm going to do a rainbow, but then I figured I had more butterflies than the colors that I have, and some of the butterflies are really small. So I'm going to end up coloring I'm going to color batches of them. I'm going to color a couple butterflies with a specific color and then move on to the next. And this is where I'm moving them. I figured if I have 6 colors, I can at least get at least 2 butterflies at a time with that color. So I'm starting off with that green. There was really no rhyme or reason why I wanted to use or why I wanted to start off with the green, but it actually worked out to my advantage, and I'll let you know in a little bit. But now, right again, I am not pushing really hard. I'm just really just making kind of creating a circle movement with my hands and with that brush. I am pushing a little bit with my index finger for that, but other than that, it was just really easy, easier than the blending brush. So I really like how this one was coming out. Now, I have 5 brushes, but I knew that my butterflies were not so big, so I'm gonna just continue on with this. But I decided to just use this one, just kind of brushing off the green of it. Now, one thing that I did notice is that you can use the same brush if you are coloring with the same kind of color family. I am going to use this one single brush for all of my cool colors. So the green, and then now I'm doing blue, and then I'm going to do purple later. So you can really use this brush for, you don't have to like clean in between, as long as you're using the colors, or you're using colors that are in the same family. And as you can see, I'm not really covering the butterflies anymore because the brush is small enough where I can just position my brush where I'm just coloring just that butterfly that I intend to. And again, I'm just brushing it off onto the scrap piece of paper just to get rid of some of those colors, and then sorry, and then I'm going to just use that same brush. Now I am changing my brush now. I'm going with a smaller one because now I'm going with my warmer colors. So another thing that I found that's really good is start with your lighter one, because if you go from the dark to the light, some of that dark color will of course go onto your yellow. So I'm going to start off with a lighter color of my warm, and then go on with my orange, and then with my kind of pinkish red. So that's basically what I do, and I will show you. So this is my second kind of not attempt, but second thing that I wanted to do here, and I'm gonna do another coloring with it, which is without a stencil. And then I'm going to turn these into cards, and I will show you the cards, the finished cards later. I did not film myself making the cards because my focus is just showing you how the coloring is. And but you will see the finished cards after I do all these coloring. So I really love the way this brush, or the blending from this brush, really turns out. I highly recommend these brushes, and I believe I paid $10 for the set of 5 different sizes versus I know Tailored Expressions has them, and they're pricier than this one. Although the Tailored Expressions has a white, the color of the bristles are white, so I think the good thing about that is that you can see the color getting onto your brush a little bit more. But this one didn't have any issues. Again, I was just kind of rubbing the excess off onto my scrap so I can see the color on the brush. And I also cleaned this with just kind of a little bit of warm water, and I was just brushing off the excess paint on my palm just to get rid of it, and then I just set it aside to dry, and it was good. So again, I highly recommend these brushes. They're from Amazon. I will make sure to link that in the description box below if you're interested with that. But I like how smooth it goes, and again, I was just playing here, just kind of seeing how it goes, and even without a stencil, just blending it, I feel like it blends really smoothly. And I do start from the center because I want the colors to fade on the outside of this circle that I created, and so I really like how that turned out. So that's basically what I do with these, and I'm going to show you the cards that I was able to create. I was able to create 3 cards. This is the first one with just the colored or just a script. And then this one was with the butterflies. And I have some new word dies from MFD that I wanted to use as well. And so that's what I used here. And that's basically my share for today. I hope that you guys like it and that you'll come back, and I will catch you guys another video. Bye.